in Texas A&M, a.k.a. the Aggies. They end up going 8-1 in the SEC. So, Sean, the question has got to be asked, and it's being asked many, many times today. Who is in? Alabama, Clemson, they're in. Ohio State, gut feeling here, I think they're in. So, hypothetically, it comes down to Notre Dame and Texas A&M. Who do you give it to? Well, Cincinnati on the outside as well.
You know what? And Steve, let's be perfectly clear about this. If I were part of the committee, I would be arguing adamantly for Cincinnati. I would. And part of my reason is I think Texas A&M had a chance to make their case, and they have one really ugly loss sitting in their corner. Obviously, Notre Dame, what transpired yesterday. Let's call it what it is, though. This is not a college football playoff. It is a Power 5 playoff. I mean, we've seen that. They've made it abundantly clear. So I think with that being said, Steve, it'll be Texas A&M. I don't feel great about that. I'm not sitting here saying, yes, no doubt about it. But I think it'll be Texas A&M. And Steve, I'm just tired in college football. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the BCS era when everybody would tell you what they know would happen. And it's like, no, settle it on the field. And I think that's part of the problem with this logic is they know that a Cincinnati would get run or whoever would get run. And we've seen how that worked out in the past.
Well, during the Alabama-Florida tilt, they showed the committee in a meeting room. And the first thing I noticed, it didn't look like there was any refreshments. I digress. They have a big decision to make. A couple things. Are they going to penalize teams for COVID? That would mean Ohio State. We'll see what happens there. Are they going to be going by you are only as good as your last game? If that is the case, then Notre Dame suffers a blow. It's going to be interesting to see which way they go. Jimbo Fisher has been very, very vocal about the Aggies, as you might suspect him to be. They had a very bizarre opening win, just getting past Vanderbilt. They were absolutely crucified by Alabama. They did beat Florida. So it's going to be very interesting to see which way it goes. By the way, quickly here, Sean, another Big Ten score to pass along. Penn State beats Illinois 56-21. I mentioned that because the Fighting Illini are bringing aboard Brett Bielema. He will replace Lovie Smith as their new head coach. Had a lot of success at Wisconsin, not so much at Arkansas.
I think he's a Big Ten coach. I like this move for the Illini. And I think the Fighting Illini, Steve, are one of those programs just waiting for the right guy to come in to be competitive in a year-in, year-out basis, especially on that side of the conference.
All right. Please get your fantasy rosters out if you wouldn't mind, because we're going to get some help for you along the way. Here is my partner, Sean.
Here's the Fantasy Football Report. Brought to you by Hungry Howie's. Now get any 2 items from the Mix and Match menu for just $5.99 each. That's Hungry Howie's. Here's Sean Baligian.
The Titans are a team that is a little more explosive than I think people want to give them credit for. Sure, everybody's going to talk about Derrick Henry. You know darn well you don't take him out of your lineup ever, especially in a game like this. But you know what? Ryan Tannehill has 28 touchdowns against only 5 interceptions. He might be a worthwhile play. There are worse options out there, to be sure. A.J. Brown, nice option. Corey Davis having a nice season as well. While the touchdown total is low, he does have 835 yards receiving, a couple different tight ends to look at in Smith and Ferks or so. All in all, this might be a fantasy bonanza for the Titans. Now, conversely for the Lions, I think everybody knows what's been going on all week. Will he or won't he? The status of Matthew Stafford. You know what a warrior this guy is. You know he's going to want to get on the field, but you're going to have to wait. The guess is he's going to have to throw a lot if he's in there. So here's the routine. He goes, I think you play him. He doesn't go, you look elsewhere. No disrespect to Chase Daniel, but it's a totally different offense without Matthew Stafford out there. And I think that goes for the rest of the Lions as well. DeAndre Swift is an intriguing option with Matthew Stafford. As always, I've been saying it all year, TJ Hawkinson, an intriguing matchup with Matthew Stafford. So much of what the Lions do or do not do today really is predicated on number 9. And I think you should address your fantasy lineup as such. I'm Sean Baligian, and that is your Fantasy Football Report.
It's time for another page of the NFL Notebook, brought to you by Bill Brown Ford. Who's your Ford dealer? Here's Steve Courtney.
Like so many others back in the day, I was a big fan of Broadway Joe Namath and, of course, the New York Jets, Jets. But we know by now the Jets have stumbled across very hard times. Right now, they are 0-13, and it appears as though they're heading towards, well, that mark that we are all too familiar with in the great city of Detroit. I digress. The Jets, by the way, already have clinched a top 3 pick in the 2021 NFL draft. Now, with the current worst record, they have a, let's see here, carry the zero, 74% chance of securing the number 1 pick. This according to ESPN. And of course, that could mean Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, the presumptive top pick. More on that in just a bit. But what about Sam Darnold? You remember his first National Football League game. It was also the first National Football League game, head coaching wise, for one Matt Patricia. You remember Monday Night Football, Darnold's first NFL pass, a pick six by Quandre Diggs. We thought that was going to be leading to great things. Meanwhile, the Jets able to come all the way back and get the W. Sam Darnold's NFL career off and running. Well, you know what? It hasn't been all that great. Not great at all. He's 0-9 as the starter. He is ranked 32nd out of 33 qualifying quarterbacks in total QBR. Darnold now has 1 year remaining on his rookie contract. That would be a $9.8 million cap charge by May. Listen to this. The Jets must make a decision on his 5th-year option for 2022, an estimated $25 million. I'm not done. Fully guaranteed. Which way you think the Jets are going to go? Now, by the way, getting back to this whole Trevor Lawrence thing, don't know exactly what he's going to do. He could forgo the 2021 NFL draft to play one more season of college football. Does he control his draft day destiny by demanding a trade to a preferred team like Eli Manning back in 2004? Or does he take the conventional route and play for the team that drafts him, like Peyton Manning back in 1998 in the Indianapolis Colts? We just don't know. By the way, ESPN interviewed 5 prominent agents and 3 former general managers, and the overwhelming consensus is Lawrence will turn pro with enough leverage to execute an Eli Manning-type maneuver. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, what are the chances? Let's talk about it quickly. Of the Jets going 0-16. 3 games left. They are at the Rams. That's 4:05 today, by the way. They've got the Browns coming in to Jersey, and they are at the Patriots. Classic AFC East battle. 3 games left. Combined record of the teams involved, 24-15. Book it. The Jets, unfortunately, go 0-16. That's just my thoughts. And that's another edition of NFL Notebook. I'm Steve Courtney.
Now let's go around the league. Here's Michael Stantz.
Justin Herbert tied an NFL rookie record on Thursday night.
Shotgun snap to Herbert. He's back to throw. Herbert moves right, looks, throws down the field. Got a man wide open. Caught inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown Chargers. Tyron Johnson makes the catch, takes it in, and the Chargers have the lead. 19 seconds to go in the second quarter. It's the Chargers 16, the Raiders 10, with the extra point upcoming.
That was Ryan Radke of Westwood One on the call. The Chargers beat the Las Vegas Raiders in overtime, 30-27. Herbert with 2 touchdown passes on the night to bring his season total to 27, tying the NFL rookie record set by Baker Mayfield in 2018. The rookie quarterback got it done on the ground as well, punching in a QB sneak from 1 yard out to seal the victory for the Chargers, snapping the team's 9-game losing streak in the division. Now 5-9 on the year, the Chargers host the Denver Broncos in Week 16.
The New Orleans Saints.
ESPN reported on Friday Drew Brees will be returning to the starting lineup for the Saints, who will host the Kansas City Chiefs in the marquee matchup of the week. The 41-year-old quarterback has missed the last 4 games after suffering 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung in a Week 10 win against the 49ers. In Brees' absence, the team went 3-1 with backup quarterback Taysom Hill. ESPN NFL analyst Bart Scott does not think it's a smart idea for Brees to return to the lineup.
Because as a defender, that is a bullseye for me. I don't care. It's the cost of doing business. If this is a team that I may have to face in the Super Bowl, I'm going to make sure I do some damage. I'm going to inflict as much damage as I can, especially early in the game, knowing that I have a great offense that can match them score for score. So he has a target on him. They're going to put some barbecue sauce on the ribs, and we're going to see if Drew Brees is about that smoke. 85% is not enough for me because I need him for the duration of the playoffs. I'm going to be targeting that. I'm going to fall on it. If I get it fine, we'll have a pool for the FedEx. So I'll tell you what, Drew Brees better be ready because it doesn't care. If I have to take that extra step, we're going to take that extra step.
The Saints remain tied atop the NFC with the Green Bay Packers at 10-3. Meanwhile, in the AFC, the Chiefs remain the number 1 seed at 12-1.
The New York Giants.
COVID-19 rears its ugly head yet again. This time, the Giants, who will now head into Sunday night's matchup against the Cleveland Browns without their number 1 cornerback, James Bradberry. Bradberry was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list this week, reportedly due to coming in close contact with a chiropractor who tested positive. The team will also be without their offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett, after Garrett tested positive on Thursday. Garrett and Bradberry's cases are unrelated. Filling in for Garrett on play calling duties for the Giants will be tight ends coach and former Browns head coach Freddie Kitchens. Here's Giants head coach Joe Judge on Kitchens.
I've worked with Freddie. I've worked against Freddie. He's a tremendous coach. Freddie has a great rapport with the players in the building. He really connects with people. I think Freddie is a very intelligent and very smart football coach. He does a great job of really identifying scheme. He's a tough fundamental coach as well. I think you see from his players, they improve and they really respond to him on a personal level, which carries over their performance on the field. In terms of Freddie calling plays this week, look, it's really been a cooperative effort throughout the season anyway with the offensive staff along with the defensive staff. We all work together on the same page. We've built in opportunities through training camp and practice periods this season where different coaches had to call plays just for this exact situation.
The Washington football team.
Dwayne Haskins will make the start for Washington against the Seattle Seahawks today. Alex Smith was officially ruled out with a calf injury on Friday. Haskins hasn't started the game since week 4. He filled in for the injured Smith in the second half of the team's 23-15 win over the 49ers last week, finishing the game 7 of 12 for 51 yards passing. Earlier in the week, Washington head coach Ron Rivera explained what he'd be looking for out of Haskins if he got the call.
Well, just to play with consistency. Dwayne has worked hard. He's paid attention and has watched, and I believe he's learned. And just looking forward to see if he gets that opportunity, how things go.
Now 6-7, Washington will be fighting to hold on to the top spot in the NFC East as the postseason draws closer. That's this week's Around the League. I'm Michael Stetz.
All right, Mike, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Don't go away. Coming up, we will have the Lions injury report as it relates to their tilt in Music City with the Titans. Also, our conversation with Tori Petrie, DetroitLions.com. Leave it here. This is Lions Radio.
After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world. When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it, that is the truth.
Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match. Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR.
Project Shine and Volunteer Match. Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community.
760 WJR.
And 2 for $5.99 each.
Okay, can I just order my food, please?
Oh, sure.
Great. I'll have.
Sorry.
Hungry?
Howie's.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Once again, this injury report is brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System, the official healthcare provider of the Detroit Lions. Call 1-800-HENRY-FORD or visit henryford.com/teamdocs. Not going for the Lions against the Titans. That would be right tackle Terrell Crosby. Wide receiver Kenny Galladay has not played since November 1st against the Colts because of that bad hip. He is not going to go today either. Up front on the defensive line, Deshaun Hand has a bum ankle. He is out. Cornerback Darryl Roberts has a bad hip. He is out as well. As we mentioned at the beginning of the countdown, the Lions find center Frank Ragnow. He has a fractured throat, for crying out loud. He is not going to go either. Meanwhile, up front on the defensive line, John Pennicini having a season, I'll say that. He's got a bad shoulder. He is questionable. And number 9, Matthew Stafford with that cartilage injury to his rib. He is listed as questionable, but again, according to reports, it looks like number 9 may go. That's where we start our conversation with our good friend Tori Petrie from DetroitLions.com. Tori, how are you?
I'm guessing
you're not starting there, are you, Steve?
Yeah,
no.
I'm guessing this is for our listeners. You referring to the SEC championship last night? Look, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad because they put up a great fight.
They did.
Against a really good team, and I can't be too mad about it. If it weren't for that shoe throw a couple weeks ago, I think we'd have a legit shot at the playoff today.
You know, something tells me, Tori, it's going to be the summer of the shoe throw.
Oh man. It's still too soon, too fresh for me.
Let's talk about something rather uplifting. Number 9 did not look good for him to play. He looked like to be in a heck of a lot of pain in the loss to the Packers last week. Anytime you got a cartilage issue with your rib, it's a broken rib, a fracture, whatever the case may be, it hurts. This game, relatively meaningless for the Detroit Lions, out of the postseason picture as they get ready for the Titans. Obviously, you can't tell Matthew it doesn't mean anything. It looks like he's going to go there, Tori.
Well, you mentioned the reports that are out there. The team hasn't said anything officially yet, so we'll officially find out when those inactives come out around 11:30. But, Steve, you and I both know how tough Matthew Stafford is. This is not the first time that he would have, worked to play through something really painful. I mean, Matthew Stafford has played through so many different things in his career, many things that I'm sure we don't even know about, because that's just the kind of guy that he is. His toughness is never surprising. It's always impressive, but never surprising. So we'll see what happens today.
Tori, one of the things that jumps out to me about Tennessee, everybody's going to talk about Derrick Henry, and I'm sure we're going to do that as well. Ryan Tannehill's having himself one heck of a season. And to the people out there that think, well, it's all about stopping Henry, not so fast, to quote Lee Corso.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to start with stopping Derrick Henry. That is their biggest weapon. I mean, look at the guy. He had 215 rushing yards last week and 2 touchdowns. So you don't want a guy to be able to do that to you. But you're right. You do have to look out for Ryan Tannehill as well. He has really been having a great season with the Titans and has been doing some stellar stuff for them. I mean, he's playing that role that they need him to play and has really grown into a starting quarterback in this league. And so, Ryan Tannehill is certainly something the Lions have to look out for, especially after what we saw Aaron Rodgers do, to this injured secondary last week. Now, obviously, Tannehill isn't Aaron Rodgers. Few people are. But this Lions secondary is dealing with a lot of injuries. And so, that definitely puts a lot of, weight on them to be able to step up to the task and stop the Titans through the air as well.
Tori, last point to discuss with you. This past week, wide receiver Kenny Galladay, who will miss his 7th straight ball game in this 2020 campaign because of that hip, met with the media. And interesting, Tori, he mentioned that, he would like to stay here. The new GM, the new head coach, has some decisions to make along the way. There's no doubt Kenny Galladay is a gifted receiver. Is there a question as to whether or not you want to pay him the big dollars?
Well, I think it depends on where you feel like your team is at as you're moving forward, right? Because you're going to be starting over with a new GM and a new coach, right? Most likely they're bringing in their own system. They're going to do their own thing. So is this going to be a rebuild type of situation, or are you trying to, win games right away? And if you have a guy like Kenny Galladay, he's a incredible player that deserves to be paid. Obviously, he's struggled with some injuries throughout his career, and that will be the one question mark, I think, when you look at what he's paid. But this is a guy who's going to produce for you no matter where he's at. And so, you want to keep him around. You want to keep your good players that you draft in the building. But, it depends on what you want to do moving forward and where you see your franchise heading in the next couple of years. So it's a big question, and one that I don't think will be answered until there is a new GM in the building. So we'll just have to kind of wait and find out.
Tori, thank you very much for your time, as always.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Tori Petrie. Merry Christmas indeed. DetroitLions.com. Don't go away. When we come back, our own Michael Stetz will have a sit down with Mike Keith, the Tennessee Titans fine radio play-by-play guy. Leave it here. This is Lions Radio. Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM, available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are 2 terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
That is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine and Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community.
760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
They've even treated me, and they can help you too. Call Oxford Recovery Center at 248-486-3636 and learn the many benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or visit oxfordrecoverycenter.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm is the official legal team of the Detroit Lions Radio Network, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL-SAM. Well, let's see here. The Titans are 9-4. They are in a first-place tie in the AFC South with the Indianapolis Colts. Big game for them coming up, of course. Our own Michael Stetz had a chance to discuss that, among other things, with Mike Keith, the play-by-play voice of the Titans. Michael?
We head to the opposing sideline now to get a closer look at today's opponent. We bring on Mike Keith. He's the voice of the Titans for the Titans Radio Network. Mike, how are you?
I'm fine, Michael. Thanks for having me.
9-4 for the Titans. That's their best 13-game start since 2008 when the team went 13-3. What is it with Mike Vrabel and how he's been able to really continue their winning ways here in his third season?
Michael, let me back up just a little bit because I think it actually predates Mike Vrabel just a little bit. John Robinson got in here as the general manager in 2016, and we've actually had 5 straight winning seasons, one of only 3 teams currently that can claim that. And so John built a very disciplined, very tough football team. That's what he's drafted. And after the team decided to move on from Mike Mularkey following 2017, they bring in Vrabel, and he takes it to another level. He adds a coaching staff that very much fits his teaching and coaching style. Everything works very well except for one thing, and that's the quarterback position. In 2018, the Titans get to the end of the year. They're playing for a playoff spot against an Indianapolis team that had Andrew Luck. And they lose that game. They start 2-4 in 2019, and then they make a quarterback change, and suddenly everything has now clicked into gear for the Tennessee Titans. They're 18-8 with Ryan Tannehill as the quarterback. So, long answer to your question, but I think the base was laid by John Robinson. He got a coach who fit it, and now he's gotten a quarterback who fits it as well. And so the Titans have been able to take full advantage.
The Titans offense, I mean, it's so old school. And look, I'm 44. I love old school football. It's like they line up and they're giving it to Derrick Henry. And most teams don't have an answer for it, Mike. Tell me about Derrick Henry and how they line up. It's coming, but they can't stop him.
Well, what's so great about this attack is they're going to stick with it. Even when they fell behind Cleveland 38-7 at halftime a couple weeks ago, they came out and ran the ball some in the third quarter to maintain some balance and got back in the game. So they're going to stick with it. They're going to give him opportunities. What you see of him in the first half is not what you always see as the game goes along, because he is that unusual big back. And, as you watch college football today, you don't see the big back anymore. That guy's gone. It's all the spread backs. A big back in today's college game is 215 pounds. Back, in the 80s in particular, you had a bunch of 230, 240, 250 pound backs. Now these players see this guy and they're like, what do I do with him? He's a defensive end. He's an outside linebacker. So I think there's that. But the reason it works is because the Titans can throw the football really well. And they work off play action. They take shots. They want to gain chunks in the passing game, so they're going to go down the field with the ball, and they're able to free up some things. And we saw that, Jacksonville's defensive coordinator, Todd Wash, he decided, okay, I'm going to do this. And so the Titans countered and hit him with something, and they were successful. And then Todd Wash says, okay, I'm going to do this. And the Titans countered and did something that's successful. If all the Titans could do was run the football, it wouldn't work. But because they can throw it, and because they can throw it to different people, it makes a difference. Tell you something else too. The plays that are called at the line by Tannehill in terms of flipping the sides they're going to run to, the reads that he makes are a big key in the running game, because he'll see the defense sitting one way, and instead of going right, he'll send Henry left. And not every quarterback can do that. But a guy who's 32 and who, was going to go to school to be an orthopedic surgeon and has been around the block can do that. And that's one of the reasons Tannehill is so important to this offense.
One more on Henry. Do you think he's got a shot here, Mike, at 2,000 yards?
I do. Michael, I think he does, because I think the Titans need to win them all. They're going to need to win all the way down the stretch. So they're not going to take off week 17. So that. They're not going to go away from Henry, so he's going to get the ball, so that. And he's capable of breaking the home run. Right now he needs 468 yards, so he needs 156 yards a game. Well, if he breaks an 80-yard run, which he can do,
sure,
then he's 18% of the way there. And then all of a sudden that number becomes even more manageable. He could break 2 long runs. He's a home run hitter. So, after what he did in Jacksonville, I think he's got a shot, not because of the opponents or how good or bad they are against the run, just because the Titans are going to need him to run over the course of the last 3 games.
Titans also going to need their defense to step it up, and they did last week. I thought that was one of their better performances. Obviously, they've had their issues, as you know, especially in the red zone and on third down. But a spirited effort against the Jags. Do you think this defense, Mike, is kind of coming together and gelling at the right time as they get closer to the postseason here?
We thought that, and then they had a disaster in the first half against Cleveland. And then they played better in the second half against Cleveland. They played well in Jacksonville. So was the first half a bump in the road against Cleveland, or is it, or are the problems still there? The communications issue has been a big factor, Michael, because they've started about 50 guys, 50 different players in the secondary, or at least that's how it feels. And they haven't had their top 2 corners on the field since early last November. So they have been a rotating pool of people due to injuries and COVID and you name it. And so what ends up happening is the communication gets thrown off and a guy's out of position, and suddenly a receiver's running wide open and the quarterback can get rid of the ball very quickly. So the pass rush has no chance to get there because the guy's too open. We'll see. I think for the Titans going anywhere, if they're going to win the division, if they're going to make a playoff run, if they're going to go beyond that, the key is going to be offense. That's what's driving the engine right now. If the defense can play to a functional, consistent level and get the ball back for the offense, play good on third down, play good in the red zone, I think this team has the ability to do something special because I think their offense is good enough to keep up with anybody else's offense.
Looking forward to this one. Mike, appreciate a few minutes. All the best to you, my man.
Michael, my pleasure.
All right, there he goes, the voice of the Titans for the Titans Radio Network, Mike Keith. We send it back now to Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
All right, Mike, appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mike Keith, for your time as well. And the countdown indeed continues. Your Detroit Lions at 5-8 in Nashville to face the 9-4 Tennessee Titans. And it's all about Derrick Henry, is it not? It's going to be a lot of fun watching him. Hopefully he won't be all that successful, but he rushed for a season-high 215 yards with 2 TDs last week, becoming the first player in NFL history with 4 career games with 200-plus rushing yards and 2+ rushing TDs. And he's just a load, Sean. He really is.
It's amazing. You know what? It makes everybody around them better. As I was talking about with Torrey, look at the year that Ryan Tannehill's having. I mean, Steve, he's on pace for, like 35 touchdowns against only 6 interceptions right now. His ratio right now is 28-5. He's got over 3,200 yards. It is amazing the impact he has on this offense all over the board. And you brought it up earlier, especially if a team's down, you wonder if guys start making business decisions as the game goes on. Here comes it. We're down by 2 touchdowns. Here comes this Mack truck running at me. Oops, I lost my footing in the grass.
More on that coming up in just a bit. I guarantee you. Leave it here. This is Lions Radio.
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Let your light shine down.
Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predicted game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match.
Let your light shine down.
Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match.
Let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are 2 terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
that is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
From traditional electrical work to the most intricate systems and new technologies, smart businesses partner with the NECA IBEW team. From traditional electrical to the most intricate new technologies, connect with us for your next project at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. The great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. This is the Detroit Lions Countdown to Kickoff on the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Ford Motor Company, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Wallside Windows, Rinaldi Sausage, Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, DTE Energy, McLaren Healthcare, Hungry Howie's, Bill Brown Ford, Oxford Recovery Center, Guernsey Farms Dairy, the Children's Foundation, Henry Ford Medical Group, Wiggly's Famous Eastern Market Corned Beef, Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association, Smecna, Detroit, and Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Now, from Lions Radio Central, here are Steve Courtney and Sean Baligian.
I don't know where time goes. Hard to believe. Lions with just 3 regular season games remaining. They'll spend today in Nashville against the 9-4 Tennessee Titans. And I still can't believe there's 5 days left until Christmas. Thank you very much for maybe taking us along with you as you do some Christmas shopping and tie up some loose ends. In Lions Radio Central, my name is Steve Courtney. Happy to have with me, as always, Mr. Sean Baligian. What's up, laddie?
How are you, pal? You get all your shopping done? Everything straight?
No. I'm going to be the guy at 7-Eleven getting, gift cards and burritos for people. But what else? What else are you going to do? Here we go. The Lions got to dig deep, Sean. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with this organization. Obviously, you've got an interim head coach in Darrell Bevell. You will not be participating in the postseason. Meanwhile, you find yourself in Nashville today to face the Titans. They're 9-4. As a matter of fact, they are in a tie for first place with the Colts in the AFC South. This franchise has a lot going on.
Well, they feel really good about themselves, and you know what they want to do to you? They want to punch you in the mouth, and then when you get up, they want to punch you in the mouth again, and then punch you in the mouth again. You know what's coming. You know that you're going to get a dose of Derrick Henry, and that dose is just going to keep coming. And, Steve, I'll reiterate, I think Ryan Tannehill's having a really good year, taking advantage of some of the things that open themselves up with so much focus being put on Derrick Henry. It's a darn good football team, Steve. Make no mistake about it.
Not often in the National Football League do you strike gold with free agent quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill, the exception for the Titans. He is throwing at just under 66%. He is thrown for 28 touchdowns to go along with 5 interceptions. Meanwhile, under center here with the Honolulu Blue and Silver, Matthew Stafford, he threw for 244 yards and a touchdown, no picks last week for a 100.6 rating in the loss against the Packers. Of course, he goes down late with the cartilage injury to his ribs. There are reports that he is fixing, I'm going to use some Nashville vernacular, he is fixing to play today against the Titans. An unbelievable dude, tough as nails, for a game that in essence means nothing. He's going to be without his starting center, Frank Ragnow, because he has a fractured throat, for crying out loud. But number 9 wants to play the game.
Steve, I wince when I have, too much Nashville fried chicken. Oh, those spices. I end up wincing a little bit. This guy is tough as nails. And Steve, this is the thing that people don't understand. An injury like that, there is no comfort. There just isn't. The only thing that's going to heal that, okay, is time. And there hasn't been enough time since last week. And when you're away from the game, it's not like, oh, I'm going to sit down on the couch and relax, or I'm going to lay down. Oh, no. Every movement that you make It is agony. That is just not an injury that you want to deal with. The guy's tough as nails. I don't know how else we need to say this any longer. If you haven't figured that out in his time here, you aren't paying attention.
As you heard me mention, the Lions find center Frank Ragnow, who is yet, according to my calculations, he has yet to allow a sack this year. Didn't even allow a quarterback hurry in the loss to the Packers last week. And guess what, folks? In the first quarter, Frank Ragnow suffered one of your more bizarre National Football League injuries, a fractured throat. Now, listen to this. A fractured throat bone is extremely rare. This according to the Journal of Maxillofacial and Oral Surgery, typically the product of trauma associated with strangulation. So you make of that what you will. But, Frank Ragnow played the rest of the game with this injury. Now, he is not going to go against the Titans today, but you talk about a warrior.
Unbelievable. And Steve, one big piece that you have to like moving forward, when you've got that anchor and rightfully playing him where he should have been playing the entire time at center, that guy is one of the best in the league. A great attitude. He'd love to give her a go as well. So that's one less thing that the next regime, whoever that is, has to worry about. You got yourself a stud right there in the middle of your line.
From time to time, I'll stub my toe like on the corner of the bedpost or the couch or whatever. And I seriously think about sitting there for like a day and a half before I move. And this guy fractured his throat. I mean,
I'm with you. I'm week to week. Hey, Steve, I might not be in next Saturday is my mindset, but
game time decision.
Tough man.
All right, Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you in Lions Radio Central. Thank you very much for having us with you. What's that? You want more stuff? Okay, how about this? Here's Lions Today.
We're 2 hours away from kickoff at Nissan Stadium for a preview of today. It's Lions Today. Here's Nick Roddy.
The Lions and Titans are getting ready to meet for just the 13th time in NFL history, and Tennessee leads the all-time series 9-3. The Titans come into today's game third in yards per game and fourth in points per game, and their offense revolves around running back Derrick Henry. And Lions interim head coach Darrell Bevell is certainly impressed.
They have some really talented players, obviously, on the offensive side of the ball. Derrick Henry is the leader, and that's how they want to build the thing. And kind of the same thing that I've been preaching here is, when you have a solid run game and the way that they're able to use him, it really opens up the explosions in the pass game in terms of play action and that kind of thing. So Ryan Tannehill's done a great job for them. I know I said it, but comeback player of the year, and he's still playing like that. So, a lot of weapons over there, and, they can be explosive. And some of those explosives also come in the run game, with those big long runs by Henry as well.
Detroit's defense has been up and down this season, but has played better as of late. And defensive tackle Nick Williams knows they have a huge challenge in front of them.
I think it's been a work in progress, with everything that's transpired this year, getting used to what Corey likes from what Coach Patricia used to like. I think throughout the year we played the run well. We've given us some big run games, as we all know. Past couple of weeks, we've done a good job. Green Bay really didn't have a big run day on us. We kind of stopped them in the track, but they did have Aaron Rodgers. So we got to continue to get better at what we do well, and that's stopping the run and getting quarterback pressure.
Offensively for Detroit, it will all depend on who plays quarterback. With Matthew Stafford's rib and thumb injuries, backup Chase Daniel is ready to go.
It's weird, and maybe that's why I've stuck around so long in this league for 12 years or whatever it is. Like, I truly prepare like a starter each and every week. Like, I'm going to go out there from the start and from the first snap and play. So I'm not going to do anything special. I'm going to trust my process. It's gotten me this far. It's proven that it's worked for me. So I'll just continue to keep doing what I'm doing.
That's the Lions Today. I'm Nick Roddy.
There will be one Super Bowl champ crown at the end of this year. That's it. That's a fact. And the fact is, we got to come back and go to work. That's all we got to do.
For a closer look at the Tennessee Titans, here's Charting the Opposition, brought to you by Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Here's Chris Renwick.
The Lions are in Nashville to take on the 9-4 Titans, and for Tennessee, there's a playoff spot on the line. Now, it's unlikely they'll be able to clinch a South title this week, but a win against Detroit would go a long way in at least securing a seat at the table. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill says they're only concerned with the things they can control. quite frankly, not paying much attention to the things they can't.
We just have to control what's in front of us, and that's finding a way to end this week 1-0. You start looking around and worrying about things that are out of control or things that don't really even matter to this team. You're wasting time, you're wasting energy, and you're not focused on the things that focus. So it's definitely our thought process is to stay focused on the task at hand, and that's finding a way to beat Detroit.
Meanwhile, Tennessee's offensive output has been pretty impressive this year. And you hear coaches all the time say it. They want to be balanced, meaning they want to run the ball as effectively as they can throw it. And in the Titans' case, they actually do it. Head coach Mike Vrabel says they still have work to do, though.
I think we're trying to be efficient. We're trying to be balanced. Obviously have a certain style of play that based on effort and finish and physicality. I think that sometimes when we can get into drives that plays can start to complement each other. You can hit some of those game plan plays that you feel like can help you. We need to continue to improve the efficiency.
Tennessee's got a bunch of guys you got to watch out for, especially on offense. Running back Derrick Henry leads the league in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, and receivers A.J. Brown and Corey Davis both have more than 800 receiving yards apiece and have combined for 13 touchdowns. Now, defensively, that side of the ball tends to struggle a little more than the offense. They're middle of the pack in stopping the run and come in towards the bottom of the league in pass defense. So look for Detroit's skilled players to pick up some yards today. That's Charting the Opposition. I'm Chris Renwick.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Good news, ladies and gentlemen. The meeting room is all decorated with holiday stuff. Very festive. And it's a good thing because it will be Occupado coming up in just a bit. Stand by. Ken Brown will welcome Reggie Ragland to the meeting room. We'll have that and more coming up. This is Lions Radio.
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference. Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
that is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world.
Never let your light shine down.
When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR.
486-3636 and learn the many benefits of hyperbaric oxygen therapy or visit OxfordRecoveryCenter.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Wallside Windows is the official window company of the Detroit Lions radio network. We can do that. We are the factory. The meeting room looking very, very holiday-like. A good thing because Ken Brown on his way in right now.
Now entering the meeting room, a sit-down with your favorite Detroit Lions. Here's Ken Brown.
And we're on this week's edition of the meeting room. Ken Brown here with our special guest, linebacker Reggie Ragland. How you doing, Reggie?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, man. Just fresh out of practice, a little sweaty, but it's all good.
You know what? I wanted to talk to you about this. So I'm glad we got you on. This happens to be National Signing Day. And I know you went to Alabama, which is pretty much a pro team. But anyway, what star recruit were you coming out of high school?
I believe I was a 5.
Oh, no, that's 5. For people that don't know, 5 is the best you can get. So you were like one of the premier recruits in the country.
Yeah, something like that. I was the number 1 linebacker coming out.
Just number 1. He's just the number 1 linebacker. Yeah. Did you like that whole process? I'm going to let you go with that. Did you like that whole process?
Oh, it was cool. You know, it's always feel good to be wanted. But me, my dad sat me down, like going to my junior year. It's basketball season, and I'll never forget it. And my dad was just like, son, you one of the top linebackers, and then you're a couple hours away from Alabama. And like my dad knew I was gonna choose between Auburn or Alabama, but then my dad was like, "Okay, let's do this. Okay, so let's do the pros and cons." And my dad was like, "Okay, Alabama, who they got right now? Okay, Rolando McClain at the time. Well, he already graduated. He was the Buckets. Then you got C.J. Mosley, Nico Johnson, and you had all these other guys. And then okay, cool. So now let's talk about who Auburn has at linebacker and how were they producing. At the time, it was just Josh Bynes. Josh Bynes is a good linebacker coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you right, Pop. If I want to be the best and play with the best and get better week in and week out, I know I needed to go to Alabama, in which Alabama molded me into who I am as a player today because I had all these other 4- and 5-star recruits coming out. These guys were just as good, if not better than me. Then I had the older guys that was in front of me. So, okay, cool. I really got to work. And then I didn't play until my junior year because, you know, coming in, that playbook is lengthy, which I don't make no excuses. So it took me a little minute to really understand it. And then I knew going into my junior year, if I really wanted to play and do something, I had to get on the field some kind of way. And every chance I got, I just took it. And boom, going to my junior year, I was just happy to just get back on the field. And by the time we was playing LSU, it's like the 9th game of the year. Always the first weekend in November, and then going to that game, I was getting texts and calls. I'm projected to go in the first round, second round. So, but at that time, I was like, man, I just wanted to play football and get back in it. But it's just all a testament, man, just for me not giving up and not complaining and just going out there and competing. Nowadays, cats don't want to compete; they want to transfer until they just play.
I was just about to say that.
It don't work like that some days.
Right.
It don't work like that.
I was just about to say that because if they're not playing by the 6th game of their freshman year, they in the transfer portal looking for somewhere else to go.
Right, exactly. And then it ain't no wrong with waiting your time and your turn. And then when it's your turn, you got to go out there and produce and play, in which I did. And going to my senior year, I was one of the top linebackers. And then coming out into the draft, I was the number 1 inside linebacker. I think I was like number 4, like overall linebacker. So projected first round. So, but you know, yeah, man, it's all about hard work and putting yourself in the right position as a player, man, and doing the little things. Like the big things you can always do, but it's all about doing the little things and improving week in and week out and just keeping getting better and just like going to class, putting yourself in the position. So when these scouts and coaches come and talk to your academic advisor, or even your teachers from elementary school, you always want to make sure that they talk good about you because, you know, in this league, they're going to do everything they can to understand you as a person more than you are as a football player. So going to my interviews at the Combine, we didn't even talk about me as a person. The only thing we talked about was football. And that's a huge testament to my parents. So I also make sure I did the right things right.
You know what? We pulled up a stat. You may be the only player. You can use a stat at cocktail parties. You may be the only player that won a BCS title. You won one for the college football playoff and a Super Bowl. I think you may be the only player. I'm not going to research it because you can just say it is and we'll go with it. But I don't think anybody else has all 3 of those.
I know another person, Cyrus Jones, that played with. He played with me though at Bama.
Okay.
And we came in the same year. So
when did he get a Super Bowl?
He got a Super Bowl too with the Patriots.
Okay, so all right. So you know what? There's that go. There's more stats. That went down on the Flames. Thank you. Well, we done went through your whole career. Now let's get to the Lions part. We jump ahead. You through Buffalo, Kansas City, Super Bowls. You with the Lions. Now I know signing with the Lions, you didn't expect the year you have, and you're coming off the Super Bowl high. How do you feel personally about the season?
Me personally, I came here because I wanted to play for Coach Patricia, and I know what he likes to do with his linebackers. So that's why I came. And then coming in, just meeting a bunch of the guys and the linebackers, just put the icing on the cake for me because it's a lot of great dudes in this room that I'm in, and I built lifelong bonds with them guys. So they're hell of football players too. So, but like for the most part, like you said, the season ain't go like we thought it was gonna go. Right now, you can still keep putting good things on film, and and keep putting yourself out there the best way possibility that you can, and just keep playing ball and keep putting good things out there on film. So, but for the most part, man, it's a hell of a team, man. I know a lot of the games that were close and we should have won, but you know how this league goes sometimes, and you got to keep finishing. So, like all the teams that win, they understand finishing, and the Lions are close, man. So we just got to keep playing and keep putting ourselves in the best position possible.
So you think it's more of you need a tweak than an overhaul?
Yeah, it's just a little tweak, man. Because we got the players. You got the players. You just gotta go finish. You just gotta go out there and do it. Can't talk about it. You got to be about it. And that's one thing my dad has always taught me as a kid growing up. Don't talk about nothing if you ain't gonna do it. And you got to Alabama. We ain't do too much talking. We just did it. Then when I got in the league, got with the Chiefs, we didn't do too much talking. We just did it. And we just got to go here and just do it.
You got your big shoulder pads on for this week because you know Derrick Henry's going to be the team you're playing in Tennessee, and you're not going to have to look for him. You know where he's coming. So you're going to have the big pads on for this week?
No, I'm going to stay up on the same pad. You know, Derrick, my brother. So I just got to get up in there and just go hit him, man. So, you know, me and Derrick played together at Bama. So he's one of my closest friends outside of football. We still talk a lot still to this day. So, I mean, it's exciting always going up against one of your guys coming out, man, and he's having the success that he's having. So I'm excited for him and everything he has going on. He just had a little girl, so she's beautiful. So they're very happy for him. But this weekend, before the game, that's my dog. In the middle of the game, I ain't got nothing for him. After the game, got everything for him. So I just got to go out there and do what I got to do.
All right. Matter of fact, next year, we're going to put a moratorium on the number of Alabama players in the NFL. We're going to have a limit because there's too many of them coming in. And
No, don't do that. No, don't do that. That means we're just doing everything right and we're doing what we're supposed to do on the field.
It's pure jealousy. You know what I'm saying? It's pure jealousy. You don't get me wrong on that. When you come in the meeting room, we all have a meeting room question for you. Are you ready for this week's question?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is your favorite Christmas dessert?
Ooh, my favorite?
Your favorite.
I'm a red velvet guy. Anything red velvet.
Red velvet cake. That's a Southern thing too, man. Yeah. I've never met anybody.
Yeah, it is. I ain't gonna lie. Either that or my mom's homemade caramel cake that she makes. Either that.
All right. Well, after the season's over, you're gonna partake, but we're gonna keep it right for the regular season, man. Let's come back with a couple of victories before the season's over. All right, Reg.
Definitely.
All right, Reg. It's been a pleasure. Man. All right. Thank you, Reggie Ragland, for coming in the meeting room.
KB, thank you very much for hosting Reggie Ragland in the meeting room. Meanwhile, the countdown continues. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here with you. It was a big week for the Lions organization as they welcome back a prodigal son. That would be, of course, Chris Spielman, one of the great former Lions of all time, now back with the organization. We have a thought or two on that coming up. Don't you dare go away. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Hey, Lions fans, want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it, that is the truth.
Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match.
Let your light shine down.
Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
All right, earlier this week, your Detroit Lions welcome back former All-Pro linebacker Chris Spielman to the fold, announcing Tuesday that Spiels was leaving the Fox broadcast booth, where he's been a very successful color analyst. He is going to be a special assistant to owner Sheila Ford-Hamp, as well as team president Rod Wood. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of thought going on into this hire. Sean, here you have a situation where, look, there's absolutely no doubt Chris Spielman, one of the more popular former Lions out there, and they bring him back into the organization. You know, and there's a lot of folks that are saying, well, what is this going to do to get us some wins? You know, we'll see. But your thoughts?
Where's the downside? I don't see the downside here at all, Steve. I mean, this is a guy that I think his resume speaks for itself. He's passionate about the game. He's passionate about this franchise. He's passionate about this era. Steve, there have been times in the last 5 years that you and I have been together that he has called into our post-game show to share his thoughts. We didn't call him. He called in because he's so passionate. And by the way, Mr. Spielman, you are always welcome. So to me, where's the downside in this? You know, he can sit back and, you know, maybe discern between what a good vision is and what perhaps not a good vision is. So I don't understand the downside in this. And most importantly, Steve, and this is certainly something that we all need to be better about today, he didn't pretend to know what he didn't know. You know, in essence, he came out and said, I can't be the general manager. I don't have the tools to do that. All the respect in the world for Chris Spielman.
You know, over a period of time, gotten to know Chris very well. Many, many football conversations with number 54. And after he got done bragging about Ohio State, which stands to reason, you know, the dude knows a lot about the NFL game. Interesting enough, Sean, how many Lions fans are trying to make the analogy between bringing Chris Spielman into the organization and Matt Millen? Both very good former players, both linebackers, by the way. There is a big difference as to what the roles will be. Look, Matt Millen ran the show, and it didn't take long to figure out that this dude was way over his head. But he stuck around, took the money and whatnot. The rest, as they say, is history. Chris Spielman is going to be at the side of owner Sheila Ford-Hamp and President Rod Wood at a very important time as they navigate their way to a new general manager and head coach. As I said, Sean, Chris knows the game, and he's going to be in those meetings, and hopefully he steers a ship in the right direction.
Well, and that's exactly it. I think the difference is Matt Millen would tell you that he knew what he didn't know. And Chris already told you, I don't know what I didn't know. And, listen, at the end of the day, to me, this hire is so important because, Steve, do you really want people to stop talking about same old Lions? This franchise will never win. There's only one way you can change it. You can't talk about doing it. You have to hire the right people, and they have to go do it, and you can put that to bed.
Well, during the Zoom call with President Rod Wood, when he introduced Chris and his new responsibilities, you could tell, Chris still has a lot of passion. And you touched on it earlier. He said, look, at this particular point in my career, to be a general manager now, because remember, his name was being thrown around as a potential person for that open slot. Now, his brother, Rick, the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, Chris alluded to that. Look, I've been around this game for a long time. I know a lot of different people. Through that, I gather information through osmosis. Now, how many wins will the hiring of Chris Spielman translate to? Don't know. But like you, Sean, I just don't think there's a downside to having Chris Spielman in your organization.
Guy that literally went out there and bled for this franchise, still loves this franchise, loves this area. What's the downside? Let's go.
All right. Well, we have more to share with you as the countdown continues. Well, what do you know? The inactive list going to be coming out very, very shortly. Not to mention, we'll come back and have our usual conversation with Mr. Tim Twentyman, our friend from DetroitLions.com. Leave it here. This is Lions Radio.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Let your light shine down.
Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world.
Never let your light shine down.
When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match.
Let your light shine down.
Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
Sheep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Galling.com. Again, happy holidays and go Lions.
News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, today's inactive list is brought to you by Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins. Not going for your Lions against the Tennessee Titans on this game day. As we discussed, wide receiver Kenny Galladay, cornerback Darrell Roberts, running back Jonathan Williams, up there on the offensive line, Logan Stenberg, right tackle as well, Terrell Crosby, defensive end Kareem Martin, and sadly, the very, very, very good center Frank Ragnow. He is not going to be able to go because, well, he's got a fractured throat. Don't come across that often.
Unbelievable.
Meanwhile, this NFL Insider is brought to you by Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association, SMACNA, Detroit. Now we touch base with our friend Tim Twentyman from DetroitLions.com. Timmy, a couple things here. First of all, did not look good for Matthew Stafford in the loss to the Packers a week ago. Anytime you have an injury to the rib area, whether it's broken, fractured, cartilage damage, it takes a while. According to reports, and we now know, Matthew is not on the inactive list. Unbelievable story.
Don't ever say this guy isn't.
My goodness.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, to be able to play, now obviously he's going to, I would guess he's going to get some pain meds and maybe even a shot
I
or
hope
something
so.
like that. But even so, I mean, if you've ever suffered a rib injury, and I have, it's terribly painful. And to a week later, be going out and running around and making throws and taking hits. I mean, this guy's as tough as they come for sure.
That's the amazing thing, Tim. There's nothing you can do to get comfortable. You might get it comfortable for a second, but the first hit, or sometimes even that deep breath or whatever, and it's just there's nothing you can do. And it's amazing to me that not that long ago you heard people calling this guy a China doll. I mean, it's nuts that we even had that conversation 9-10 years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing because, look, the way he did start his career, right, with the injuries and not finishing the seasons, and he silenced that pretty quick. Well, not so much pretty quick, but through the course of maybe 8 consecutive years of not missing a start, he quieted that China doll talk. And look, he's played through a lot in his career, right? Knees and hips and fingers and elbows and the whole bit. There's probably a body part he hasn't played through pain with. And look, he's as tough as nails, right? He wants to go out there. He wants to play. He doesn't like sitting out. You could tell last week, too, guys. I was watching him on the sideline when he went to the locker room, and then he came back, and he was kind of testing it out, making a couple throws, and he knew it wasn't right, and he was mad. He chucked a ball right down at the bench, just knowing that he wasn't going to be able to go, and hated the fact that, he felt he was letting his team down at the end of a close game, not being able to be out there. And that's Matthew Stafford in a nutshell, right? He wants to be out there. The best ability is availability, right? And he's been available to this team time and again, and he's going to make that happen again today. Now we'll see what happens when he takes the first hit, or kind of how this is going to develop. But it looks like he's going to start. He's going to go, and we'll see if he can finish.
Bizarre injury for the Lions fine center, Timmy Frank Ragnow. How about this? He fractures his throat in the first quarter against the Pack last week. He fractured his throat, and he stayed in 68 offensive snaps. He was told by a specialist, you have to keep your mouth shut during the course of the week. We will reevaluate it come Friday. He is not going to be able to go today. Joe Dahl will get the start at center for the Honolulu Blue and Silver. Talk about what Frank Ragnow has meant to this Lions team there, Timmy. He grades out extremely well with the likes of Pro Football Focus, has yet to allow a sack this year. But as they look for a new GM/head coach, here's a bright spot for them coming in.
Yeah, really bright spot. I think you can include Taylor Decker among that.
True.
That kind of core group of guys up front, and it's looking like Jonah Jackson's going to be that way too. And so now you're talking about 3 guys, right, that are young, prime of their career. Jonah obviously is a rookie, but he's trending in that direction. And so the future looks bright up front. And Frank specifically, I think he's one of the best young centers in this league. He's tough. He's good at pass pro. We saw against Chicago what he can do in the run game when he took Akeem Hicks and ran him 10 yards and dropped him right on his butt. And so he's got everything you want, right? Smart, dependable, available. We talked about that with Matthew. And so whatever incoming, GM gets that job and head coach, you've got to look at some of the pieces that they've got on offense with Swift and Galladay. We'll see obviously what happens with Galladay's contract this offseason, and then Decker, your left tackle, and your center. I mean, those are key spots that you've got nice young talent that you think you can build around. And I think Frank might be just the biggest piece. That center controls all the calls up front, right? He gets everybody in the right spots. He's got to be smart on top of it. And the Lions have a really, really good one for looks like the next decade in Frank Ragnow.
Hey, let's look at this Tennessee team, Tim. Look, Derrick Henry, everybody's going to talk about Derrick Henry. I get it. This is more than just Derrick Henry. This is a prolific offense, and Tannehill's really putting up quietly a solid year for the Titans.
Yeah, guys, there's 3 quarterbacks in the NFL that have at least 25 plus touchdowns and 5 or less interceptions. Can you guys name those 3? Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, right? It doesn't seem like that belongs in that crowd, but that's how well he's been playing, guys. And look, you're right. Everything obviously starts with Derrick Henry, and that's how they roll. They make no bones about they want to run the football, and they'll even tell you where they're going to run it, and they'll still run it with Derrick Henry. But I think you made a good point, Sean, about some of the other weapons. You look at A.J. Brown, right? 837 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns. Look at Corey Davis, right? I went to Western, a Western alum guy. He's got 835 yards. So you could have a situation where you could potentially have Derrick Henry, who leads the league in rushing with 1,532 yards. You could have a 2,000-yard rusher and 2 1,000-yard receivers. So it's not just about Derrick Henry, to your point. They've got some weapons, and their play-action pass game is really terrific. But I think if you quickly flip over to the other side of the ball, guys, I think there's going to be potential for the Lions to have some big plays here too. Now, Tennessee is pretty good against the wrong top 15, but look, they're dead last in third down defense. They're 29th in passing defense. They've allowed 28 touchdown passes this year. That's most in the NFL, and they have 14 sacks. That's fewest in the NFL. So I think there's going to be some opportunities. I think they sell out to stop the run, and you can hit them over the top. And so the Lions will obviously be looking to do that. We'll see if Matthew Stafford is up to that, but they give you opportunities to make plays. Even though they're 9-4, that defense struggles in the pass game and giving up big plays.
Lions defense, to me, would be much obliged if the Lions offense could possess the ball a little bit so they don't have to keep getting hit by,
And that's the thing, too. That's a great point by you, too, is Derrick Henry doesn't get hit. Derrick Henry delivers the hits. It's a lot like AP did back in the day, right? When he was at his prime, like it hurt to tackle AP. And guys like that don't take a lot of blows because they're delivering the blows. And so that's what's so good about Derrick Henry. He wears you down because you're used to delivering hits as a defender. There are a few guys, Walter Payton, AP, right? And I put Derrick Henry in that category that they deliver the blows. And so they don't just wear you out running the football and all that stuff, but you get hit when you tackle those kind of guys. And so that's what makes him just so special, in my opinion.
All right, Timmy, as always, thanks for the conversation.
All right, guys, anytime.
You bet. Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com, spending some time with us here on the Countdown. Lions, Titans on the horizon. Don't go away. Other action going on in the National Football League. We'll have that for you coming up right here. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Never let your light shine down.
Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world.
Never let your light shine down.
When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes.
Never let your light shine down.
Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR.
You know, at Hungry Howie's, get any 2 items from the mix and match menu for just $5.99 each. That's Hungry Howie's. Well, what do you know? We have reached the portion of the National Football League schedule. There are games going on Saturdays. You can't beat it. Action from yesterday in Denver, the Broncos took gas. What else is new? They fall to Bills Mafia 48-19. The Bills now 11-3. They own the AFC East. How about Josh Allen? 359 yards to go along with 2 TDs. How about Stephon Diggs? 11 receptions, 147 yards. The Bills are for real, huh?
Love the guy. Love Josh Allen. It is not a bit. It is not, just some flash in the pan. This guy makes plays. He does it with his feet. He does it with his arm. And Steve, check the box. You got your obligatory dig in on the Broncos. Congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. I didn't mean to say that out loud. Sometimes things just happen. At Lambeau Field, the Packers, they own the NFC North. They're 11-3 now after their 24-16 win over the Panthers. Aaron Rodgers, a pedestrian day, if you will, 143 yards. He threw for a score. He also ran for one. Packers warming up probably at just the right time. We'll see if their defense can hold out come postseason.
That was a terrible football game. I have no problem saying that. I mean, Steve, the crazy thing is you had the fireworks that was Bama and Florida on at the same time, and you're watching that game and you're going, are you serious here? There's no comparison. I thought the Packers sleepwalked through that game because they could sleepwalk through that game. So, you know what? Things are going well for them. Steve, make no mistake about it, 11-3 this Packer team.
There are some garbage games going on in the National Football League on this game day. The Titans, while they're playing the Honolulu Blue and Silver, they'll be watching the scoreboard because they're in a virtual tie at 9-4 atop the AFC South with the Colts. The Colts are hosting the Texans. Meanwhile, in the NFC Least, Washington on top right now at 6-7. They're hosting the 9-4 Seahawks today. Dwayne Haskins getting the start for that Washington football team.
Look, different team with Haskins at the helm and Smith at the helm. And again, it's not like Alex Smith is lighting it up, but much like you saw him do at Kansas City, Steve, he's finding a way to win. And there's something to be said about that. Much, much different dynamic with Haskins at the helm.
All right, I'll tell you this. The marquee game, 425, Chiefs and Saints meeting in New Orleans. That could be a good one.
Yeah, I'm the over-under's at 53.5. My goodness gracious, I think these two teams are going to be able to put some points on themselves. One thing that I've noticed about the Chiefs is they get themselves in these holes, Steve, and those holes are difficult to dig out of against anybody. If you do it against a good team, might this bite them in the behind in the playoff? I guess we'll wait and see, but up to this point, they're finding a way to dig themselves out of the hole and did it a couple times last year in the playoff.
All right, don't go away, folks. When we return from the break, myself, Sean, we will have our players to watch. Make sure you leave it right here. This is Lions Radio.
Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes.
Never let your light shine down.
Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR.
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Never let your light shine down.
Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world.
Never let your light shine down.
When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match.
Let your light shine down.
Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR.
So when you're planning your next Lions tailgate party, ask the critical question. Is it Wiggly's? For more info, go to Wiggly's.com. That's Wiggly's.com.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
Turns out today's players to watch are brought to you by Guernsey Farms Dairy, celebrating 80 years of award-winning dairy products. Steve Courtney, Sean Baligian here in Lions Radio Central, coming up right around the corner, as a matter of fact. Your Lions at 5-8 in Nashville to take on the 9-4 Titans. Sean, who are you going with? Player
Steve, I'm gonna go with the obvious one this week. It's Matthew Stafford. I mean, and number one, let's hope he can stay on the field all game. That is not going to be an easy prospect with what he's dealing with. But most importantly, this is a Titan defense that can be had, and they're going to have to score some points because, look, the Titans are going to get theirs. You know that they're going to get theirs, but this is a Titan defense that can be had. If Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford, the Lions are going to make this very, very interesting today.
Well, the Lions will be without their fine center, one of the best in the league, no doubt, Frank Ragnow. Frank has suffered a fractured throat in the loss of the Packers last week. So my player to watch is going to be his replacement, Joe Dahl. A lot of respect for Joe. He's seen a lot of time up front there on the offensive line, mostly a guard, of course. He has been getting some reps at center. He says he is good to go, feeling a lot more comfortable. But never underestimate the center quarterback exchange. You know what I'm saying there, partner?
No, Steve, if anybody knows that, it's you. I don't know if people know this, but Steve, you once were a center.
I was, but I never fractured my throat. And I'd like to think and I'd like to think that if I did, out. I don't know. I'd have whispered to anybody that would listen, I need to come home. But anyway, there are our players to watch. Don't go away. We'll take you to Ford Field because that's where we'll find Misters Miller and Brown. They've got the call right around the corner. By all means, leave it here. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match. Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match. Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world.
Never let your light shine down.
When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
Dan and Lomas' first look is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. All right, your Lions sitting at 5-8. They're in Nashville to take on those 9-4 Tennessee Titans. Lions, of course, 3 games left in the regular season. They've had some issues this year. I guarantee you the Titans just don't care. Let's talk about it with the voice, Dan Miller, Lomas Brown, standing by. Denny, you're the voice. Thank goodness. I don't think you've ever fractured your throat, have you?
I have not, and nor do I want to try that. I mean, if that didn't send chills down your spine when you heard that described, all I could think of was, what did that sound like? And just what would cause that? And then we kind of came to find out that it is specifically an injury to your vocal box, but voice box. But man, that just
unreal.
And then the stud went out there and played every snap after that.
He is a stud.
You ever heard of that one, though?
Never heard of it in my 18 years playing, and didn't want to have nothing like that. I can imagine staying in the game with a fractured throat. He's a tough dude.
I'd be running around looking for a doctor.
Hey, another tough dude, Lomas, is this quarterback, Matthew Stafford. We were talking to Tim Twentyman just a little while ago. Not that long ago, people were using the term China doll to describe Matthew Stafford. I mean, how laughable is that now? This guy is as tough as it gets.
Man, you know what? I mean, when you have the word tough, it should just be a picture of Matthew right next to it, because it's just unbelievable. And Sean, I just look at not just this year. Think about all the other injuries Matthew has had to deal with throughout his years here. Yet still, he showed up for each and every game. And I just couldn't imagine. I never had any real problems, but I just heard about how bad it is. I just couldn't imagine going out there and trying to play with some bad ribs. That the guy's unbelievable.
And you know, Danny, the fact is, number 9 wants to play in this tilt for the Lions, knowing fully well their chances of making the postseason, just about nil. He will be without his fine starting center, Frank Ragnow. So with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see the rapport between Joe Dahl, Frank Ragnow's replacement, and number 9.
Yeah, and also his top receiver in Kenny Galladay. So I just think it's, guys, it goes to who he is. And we know that now after 12 years of having him here, and you guys have been talking about it. He's just he's a competitor. He understands what leadership is. He's not the guy that's big rah-rah. You don't always hear from him, but he is somebody that understands they're looking at me and taking their cues from me. And he's understood that probably since he's been 10 years old, because I'm guessing he's been the quarterback his whole life. And he just knows what it is to lead and to have others follow and how they depend on you. They take their cues from you. And much of what the team does is based on what they see you do.
Danny, Lowe, appreciate your time as always, my friends. Looking forward to the call and hoping for good things from the Honolulu Blue and Silver.
All right, boys, let's do this.
You better believe
Merry
it.
Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, fellas.
Thank you.
Dan Miller, Lomas Brown, spending some time with us as we begin to wind down the countdown. Look, I think the Lions have found a new atmosphere, if you will, under interim head coach Darrell Bevell. And they're going to have to dig down deep, knowing what the score is going into this tilt. It means a lot to the Titans. Let's see the Lions compete.
Yeah, they're going to fight. I think that's the one thing that we've seen in a couple of weeks. I don't know if they have enough fight in them to knock off the Titans today. Let's be brutally honest. But I don't think you're going to see them wave the white flag and mail it in, Steve.
All right, we shall see. And then, of course, we'll be with you after. Looking forward to spending some more time with you at that particular juncture. Meanwhile, before we leave, let's pause 10 seconds for our network stations to identify themselves. As you know, this is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. The great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Now back to the broadcast booth. Here are the voices of the Lions, Dan Miller and Lomas Brown.
Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. It is week 15 in the National Football League, and the Lions are on the road, set to take on the Tennessee Titans. Two teams in very different positions right now. Tennessee gunning for a division title. Tennessee very much in the thick of things in the AFC. The team coming off a season in which they went to the AFC Championship game, so they're looking to take it one step further. The Lions, well, they come into this one now understanding their playoff hopes are all but gone and that they have to find some way to finish this season with a lot swirling around them right now. Search for a new GM, search for a new head coach, and Chris Spielman being brought in this week to the front office as an advisor to both Rod Wood and to Sheila Ford Hamp. So Lomas, as I welcome you in, my man, there's a lot going on with this football team right now.
It really, the whole organization, it really is. There's a lot going on. It's some decisions that they have to make, and it's some decisions that can really steer this organization, this team for the next 3-4 years. Some important decisions that have to be made from the front office people. But the only thing these guys, our guys on the field, can control is their play, how they go out today, how they compete against this Tennessee team that's trying to get to the playoffs.
We hear guys say that. How difficult is it to do that? You went through a coaching change when you had an interim coach in Wayne. I mean, you've been there before. You've certainly seen organizations in flux and in the midst of change. We hear guys say, "Oh, I'm just playing the game. All I can do is think about that." How hard is that?
It's hard, but I'll say this, and I hate to say it like this, but it's easier when you're playing for somebody that you like, right? And you're having fun with. And I just hate to say those guys weren't having fun under Coach Patricia. They seem like they're having a lot more fun under Coach Bevell. And when you're having fun, things are a lot looser, and you could go out there and you could put things out on the field. So I'm looking forward to the guys coming out and really competing for 4 quarters today.
Let's get to the Lions Radio Roundtable, brought to you by Ford. Built Ford proud. Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com, joins us right now. Michael, how are you?
Great to be here.
It is.
I've survived.
Good to see you.
I've survived another week.
Another week. There you
33 coaches, 7 general managers, but only 2 play-by-play men.
Yeah.
Make that 3.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But no, when you look at what's happening right now, Mike,
Chris
Spielman. You have worked with him not just covering him as a player, but now every week doing your 3 and Out on DetroitLions.com. What does this opportunity mean to him, and what do you think he brings to this organization? Or I should say back to this organization.
Well, I haven't talked to him since 9:30 this morning. And I'm not kidding either, but he's at home, and he's got these. He said he's been working 14 hours a day, and he's got all these books of information that he's wanted when he's going to make his opinions known to Sheila Hamp, the owner, and Rod Wood, the president. And he wants to make sure he does everything thoroughly. And the other thing is, I want to make sure everybody out there knows this. He's moving to Detroit. He and his wife Carrie are going to get a house here in Detroit. And he says, if I'm either all in or I'm all out, I'm all in. Mm-hmm. So he's taking this very, very seriously.
Yeah, he's not a halfway kind of guy.
Right. No,
right. Blow, you know that.
Right, exactly.
I can tell you this halfway. I once gave him in our midseason grades a C+. He came up in the press room at the Silver Dome, up the stairs, didn't even use the elevator. You're going to take that to your grave. To which I said, today. I'm not kidding. This is the truth. You'll take that to your grave.
That is awesome. It's a perspective look that I think Rod Wood and Sheila Ford Hamp, sometimes the key in life is understanding where to get good information.
Yes.
And I think they're looking, Lomas, at a guy like Chris as a guy that can help them on the football side with good information. They've certainly learned a lot in their time doing this, but you're bringing in a guy who spent his life in this game.
Absolutely. And the guy that's invested, with this organization, that's been a part of this organization. And he knows the little intricacies of this organization. He knows the culture around here. He knows this city. So, I thought it was a great move. Plus, he's an alumni. He's one of us. So we get one of us in there. And I just think Chris is going to do a great job of not only voicing his opinion, but I think reaching out to other guys to get their opinion and get their information too about how to move forward.
In a weird way, I don't know if it's a weird way, but I think his experience in broadcasting has helped him from the standpoint that 16 times a year he gets a chance to talk to 2 head coaches, 2 general managers, 2 quarterbacks, 2 key players on these teams that he's been broadcasting for at the Fox network for the last 5 years. I mean, Dan, you've done this stuff. You know what it's like.
Yep.
They will tell you things that they would never tell an opposing general manager or coach or anything like that. Just tell you things to brief you on what's going on with their organization. Then you pick up things that you ask questions, and you get additional information. I mean, to me, that's invaluable. Now, you don't write it down and say, okay, we're going to do it this way because Dan Miller told me so, but it certainly gives you a width and a depth and a breadth of information.
No question. And I like you said, I've been in those meetings, and big difference is Chris understood what they were saying. I just nodded.
Well, when I nod, the next thing is to snore.
Just nodding off.
My mouth opens up. And
let me get to this. And I know you are I'll just say it, unabashed Matthew Stafford fan.
Huge.
You are a big Stafford fan.
100%.
And this is classic Matthew Stafford that he's going to play in this game today. This is who he has shown us he is for 12 years.
And I'm not surprised. I was on another radio thing I do on Sunday mornings, and I repeated him what I've said before.
You had a busy morning. You talked to Chris Spielman. You did a radio show. You ate lunch.
And now I'm in heaven. But like I said, Matthew Stafford, among teammates, opponents, and people around the National Football League, is held in high regard. All the criticism seems to come from certain places in Detroit. And that's, like I said, it's fair commentary. That's part of the deal. But this is a terrific football player. And when you want to know how he's regarded, Phil Simms, 2-time Super Bowl winner for the New York Giants, said, I hope he gets traded so he can win a Super Bowl somewhere. It looks like we're looking at the TV
extra
monitor
padding
here.
there, Lomas, you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Boy, he's either hit the pizza. He's either hit the pizza bar since he got hurt, or he's wearing padding, one or the other.
Yeah, you want to protect. Like I said, Dan, I've never had that injury, but just throwing, just that motion, just the twisting and all the little things that he's going to have to do. I mean, it's just unbelievable he's able to do that at this level.
Well, hopefully a rebuilt offensive line where they've had to shake some things up can keep this team out. Titans come into this game. They've got the fewest sacks in the National Football League. 14.
Yes. And the most touchdown passes given up, 28. So but one of your old coaches, by the way, Darryl Rogers, was talking about a guy playing with an injury one time, and he said, Ned the Needle.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they call it now, if they do that anymore.
But
now.
ribs are supposedly very hard to put a needle in because there's different layers to them, and you have to hit the right one based on what I've heard.
Yeah, and that's what the cortisone, but he's probably going to take a Toradol shot, and that's in the buttocks.
And that just
that just.
Well, I'll tell you, when he said the ribs, there's 22 there. Hey, doctors, look, I know it's 1 of 22. Just I hope I get it somewhere in the teens.
Fourth floor, here we go, bang.
Number 15, finally. Did that hurt?
Michael, good stuff. We'll
All
look
right,
for you
guys.
at DetroitLions.com. We appreciate you stopping by as you do each and every week. Much more coming up on this edition as we get you set for the Lions and the Titans coming up just a bit. We're going to put the spotlight on Justin Coleman a little bit later. I did have a chance to go one-on-one with Chris Spielman. You'll hear that conversation. Plus, after that, we'll sit down with Darrell Bevel as well. A lot coming up as we get you ready for kickoff. Stick with us. This is Lions Radio.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, that's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it, that is the truth.
Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Let your light shine down.
Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760
Blue Shield of
WJR.
Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit hereforitall.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
Welcome back into the countdown, leading you up to your Detroit Lions on the road to face the Tennessee Titans in Music City. Steve Courtney here, taking care of business, and it's time now for something we call the Player Spotlight, brought to you by Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Joining us in his 6th year, the fine corner, Justin Coleman. Justin, how you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Everything is well, sir. Right now, let's talk about things. Lions, a 5-8 ball club, certainly not where you would like to have been when this bizarre season got underway. Your thoughts about what's transpired, and then we'll kind of break some things down as we go along there, Justin.
I think the season kind of went, unexpected, but we just gonna have to keep our heads down, keep grinding to finish the season out strong, just to make a statement and keep our confidence alive, and for next year, and continue this season and finish it out strong.
Well, you came aboard with the Honolulu Blue and Silver as an unrestricted free agent back in 2019. You had stops in Seattle as well as New England. Clearly, while you were with those clubs, Justin, didn't go through a coaching change. That was not the case, sadly, this year. I know from a player's perspective, it's always difficult, in particular when the season is still in progress. Talk about how this team has responded to the change to this point, Justin.
I kind of feel like everyone has responded well, as far as sudden changes. Whenever a situation happened, everybody jumped on top of things and did what we could to put ourselves in a better position. And that's what makes me appreciate everyone on the team, because, no matter how the game went, they fought to the end, and that's much respected.
Just from the outside looking in, it certainly appears as though, and I'm not making comparisons, Justin, between the previous administration and what interim head coach Darrell Bevell has brought, but it just seems as though maybe there is a little more energy. And when Darrell took over, he did mention that he would like to see this team have a little bit more fun. We all know fun comes from winning, but there seems to be a more positive atmosphere. Is that accurate, Justin?
You could say that, but I just say we just want to create a positive energy overall. We just feel like that's the best way to move forward, and not dwell on the past. And that's the best way we could handle things.
And certainly this 2020 NFL season has been crazy in regards to COVID. And you've been, as I mentioned, in this league 6 years. And how has this COVID situation affected Justin Coleman, if at all?
Oh, man. I feel like it affected me dramatically, actually, in different ways. From my family to my friends to, my coworkers, everything changed. I had to be more aware of my health and more aware of, my hygiene and, just making sure that everything is safe just so the team could continue playing, because, if anything happens to one player, it could create, a snowball effect, and, everybody understands that. So, our goal purpose is solely to, stay healthy for everybody else.
Now let's talk about this Titans team. Obviously, 9-4, they're damn good. Let's just put our cards on the table there, Justin. Starting with their quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, gets to Tennessee as a free agent, throwing at 65.8%, 28 touchdowns just to go along with 5 picks. First and foremost, he takes pretty good care of the football.
Yeah, definitely a overall good team. And, it starts with, I feel like, the running back. And, we stopped the run game and, do what we have to do, special teams and offense. I feel like we'll have a good chance of coming out with a W.
Well, Derrick Henry, he's listed at 6'3", 240. The dude's a load. There's no question about it. Already at 1,532 yards, he's found the end zone 14 times. He's a type of back, Justin, I would imagine, from a defensive standpoint, that you got to bring the A game, and it's got to be multiple hats on this guy, because more times than not, one dude ain't going to bring him down.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. You just have to bring some weight, bring your legs with you, and try to bring them down, get them down as best as possible. And, but one thing we all know is that he's human, so we're going to make it happen no matter what.
All right, last question, Justin. As we move forward here, with Tennessee, there's 3 games left on this schedule, 5-8 right now. There is a, I guess, 1% chance of our Lions making the postseason. Interim head coach, this COVID thing. How difficult is it for you and your teammates to put it together for the duration of the schedule?
I don't think we too much worry about like the difficulty of how things are going. We really just, trying to enjoy the process, or just take care of the process and handle things, and the outcome gonna play itself out. And I feel like as long as we trust this process, it's going things gonna just work out.
All right, Justin, thank you so much for your time, much appreciated. All the best moving forward, and happy holidays, of course, to you and yours.
Thanks, same to you.
All right, that is Justin Coleman spending some time with us right here on the Countdown, leading you up to the Lions in Music City, taking on those Tennessee Titans. We've got more information to share because, that's what we do. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR. Paul W. Smith Mornings.
For regular celebrities, there are two terrible days. There's the first day when they go out, and everywhere they go, as they walk around, there are cameras shooting pictures of them. And the second worst day, it's even worse than the first day, is when they go out and there's no one there. And let's face it,
That is the truth. Listen to Paul W. Smith. Then stick around for Frank Beckman, Rush Limbaugh, Guy Gordon, and Mitch Albom. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Never let your light shine down.
Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match. Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR.
Project Shine and Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community.
760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes.
Never let your light shine down.
Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Lions Radio 760 WJR.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Counting down to kickoff as the Lions get set to take on the Titans. Earlier this week, the Lions with a move adding Chris Spielman to their front office. Chris Spielman, of course, a longtime player with the Lions, one of the most popular they've had over the last 50 years. He will serve as a special assistant to both Rod Wood and Sheila Ford Hamp. Hey, Chris, let's start with the why, because you have carved out a terrific career in broadcasting. You have had other opportunities to do things like this before. Why Detroit? Why now? Why is this the right time?
Well, I think when the opportunities came before, I was at a different point in my life. And, you know, at some point in my life, I was a single dad raising 4 kids from the ages of 15 to 5. And so God blessed me, Dan, to be able to have choices and gave me opportunities in TV to give me the time that I needed with my children, yet keep me around the game and financially support everybody. So that was why I didn't back then. I have 6 adult children now, all 18 and over. I have a very supportive, loving wife. I think she's the female version of me because she lifts weights and loves to train, and it doesn't take any crap from me. So, and so I think it's a unique position, right? I don't know if I'm qualified to be a GM. I'm probably not a head coach without that experience, but I know what works and I've seen what works, and I'm smart enough and humble enough all in one to try to put those things together just by my experiences and the amount of people that I've talked to and the information that I gather. I talk to some very smart people that have been very successful. And there's a lot of things that they all have in common that we're kind of going to be looking for.
I've had some guys that kind of got out and they got back in tell me that they missed winning and losing. And you're now going back into that arena where you are going to be very invested in every victory and very invested in every loss. Is that part of the drive to get back in that competition?
Well, I think you're always, as a competitor, you're always a competitor. And that's something that some people have a little bit more of a competitive edge than others. I think my life experiences and learning and watching the NFL for 30 years and being around it intimately for the last 5 years, winning and losing, we all know the rules, right? But if you go on a 2-game losing streak, you can't go in the tank. We got an NFC East here where 7-9 is going to win the division. So everyone has to always maintain the focus and trust what you're doing and trust what you're building. And that would be the message and the type of coach I think that we're looking for and that understands that.
How important is your understanding of where the organization has been to your ability to help get it where everybody wants it to be?
I'm diving into the organization, right? So thinking in the past, it's not fair for me to think in the past of, I am aware, but it's not, I don't sit there and say, well, they should have done this, they should have done that. I wasn't there. So it's not fair to anybody involved in the past. What is fair is having a clear mandate and an understanding for what Sheila wants and what she believes. She's a very bright woman that has strong leadership qualities. And philosophically, I think everything lines up with what Rod and Sheila and myself are looking for. And it's simple, but it's not easy. And that's the biggest challenge that faces us. But we're all up for it. And I wish that somebody could have a conversation with her that I had with her, because you can feel her determination and wanting to make this work. And she's going to do everything she can, just like I'm going to do everything I can, just like Rod's going to do everything he can. And everybody's going to do everything they can, because it's all very, very important. And I think the fans of the Lions have to understand that this is very important to her, very important. And that's what put me over the top to do this.
Very important is job one on your to-do list, which is to help them hire a general manager, hire a head coach. Chris, this is all about winning and putting together the kind of organization that everybody wants. These two hires are an ability to really get that thing moving in the right direction, to get it right, because they're the two that will really set the tone for where this organization goes. It starts with Sheila at the top, but on the football field, it's the people that she's putting her trust in.
So here's how I look at that. You're absolutely correct. It is all about winning. Everybody knows that. And it's to get the right people in place. So it's also all about talent. And it's also all about how you build your roster. It's all about, what do we do if we have a pandemic one year and we got to bring young players up or what do we do the following year when we have a shrinking cap? How are we going to develop players to make sure that guys are always ready? So there's a philosophy in place to be able to do that. And so I think that, with our due diligence and observations and being able to sit and meet with some of these great potential leaders of the Detroit Lions organization, we are going to make the best decision possible that fits with the Detroit Lions organization.
You're beautiful, because you led me right into my next question, which is this, Chris.
I knew that.
How do you know? How do you, that's your broadcasting career, but how do you know when you're sitting in the room across from this candidate with Rod, with Sheila, that this person is right? Everybody you talk to will know football. Everybody you talk to will know how to talk football. Everybody you talk to will probably have some measure of charisma to get to the point they're at to be a candidate for this job and fill the room. How do you know who the right one is?
Well, there's a criteria that we have, and that will be made clear as we move forward. And I think that with some guys, maybe that person has done it in the past. Maybe there's some guy there that is potentially unbelievable, potentially what he can do. I know this: when you're a head coach, there's criteria that you have to have. First of all, you got to command a room. You got to command a room during the 6-game winning streak, and you got to command a room during the 3 or 4-game losing streak. And you got to believe, and those guys got to be willing to follow you. If you're not, then you'll be exposed. So we got to get that. He's got to be able to lead. You're right. All the guys that we intend, I think, to interview, no X's and O's. But what's the leadership quality? And leadership just goes beyond the players. Leadership is that person, in my opinion, has to be a great communicator. These aren't just my opinions, by the way. These are time-tested and proven philosophies that have worked in very successful organizations over the years. And what I've experienced and watched with my own eyes and had in-depth conversations with many folks in the game today and out of the game today, they all say the same thing: unity and great communicators. And when you have that, you have the best chance of success. No guarantee of success, but in the NFL, you just want to line everything up to give yourself the best chance to be successful and sustain that success over a period of time.
Hey, Chris, you are a Lion.
Yeah,
You've always been a Lion. You're back now. And here's the thing. I see it right there. And that's a beautiful thing.
I put it on, but my face, apparently my head and face grew over the years.
So let me leave you with this. Sheila said the other day, you can't hide from the past. And she isn't attempting to hide from where this franchise has been. And unfortunately, where it's been at times is the butt of jokes. I'm guessing that grinds on you. And I know as somebody who's invested in it, it grinds on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine that part of the allure here is to be part of the group that changes that conversation.
The Detroit Lions are part of me and who I am. I mean, there's always going to be, it depends on what city you go to, right? You're in Detroit, so you're invested in the team. So all you hear is Lions jokes. Go to Cincinnati or Dallas right now, or go to Chicago when they were struggling a little bit. So all that is kind of internal. But look, she made a decision to bring me aboard because she wants it so bad. And once I come on board to something, I want it so bad. I want it for her. I want it for the players. I want it for the coaches. I want it for the fans. I want it for everybody. When I talked about, and this is truth, and it's so real to me. Like when a fan puts on a Lion t-shirt, that really means something to them, that they wear that with pride. They don't wear it to bed or to wear it to work out, and they wear that with pride when they walk around the town or they go to the store. I'm a part of the Lions. I have a direct correlation with the success of this team. Believe me, I understand the importance of what the Lions, is it life or death? Of course not. But is it important to, if you're a football fan in Michigan, I don't care what anybody says. My experience tells me it is a football state, and it's important for them and for us to be able to connect and come together for one common cause, and that's the building a sustaining winning program.
That is former Lion Pro Bowler Chris Spielman, who now has a job to help the Lions find the right general manager and the right head coach to move forward in the 2021 season. All right, we got much more coming up as we get you ready for this one. Lions and Titans on the way. This is Lions Radio.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes, bringing fresh light to a dark and troubled world.
Shine down.
When you help someone else, you help yourself, and that makes the world a better place. Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today. Thanks for being part of Project Shine.
760 WJR. It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match.
Let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match. 760 WJR. Project Shine and Volunteer Match.
Let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. 760 WJR.
Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match. Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
Team. From traditional electrical to the most intricate new technologies. Connect with us for your next project at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are joined now by Lions interim head coach Darrell Bevell as they get set to go against the Titans. This brought to you by DTE Energy. And, Coach, this week you've been dealing with some injuries in practice and some injuries to some significant guys, and we'll see when you get lined up out there who's ready and who's not. But bottom line in this league is everybody has to be ready. And when somebody does get injured in this league, it is an opportunity for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I think that's a good way to put it. We really try to let these guys know that the roster is so slim. There's just not a lot of guys to be able to go in there, and your opportunity is coming at somewhere. Don't count the lines. Don't where I am. Just prepare yourself. Be ready to go. So when you do get an opportunity, because it's coming, you'll be able to step up and perform well for yourself.
I think it's an interesting thing too. We've seen in the past couple of weeks, a guy like Kevin Strong, two guys that were out of the game. Kevin Strong makes, an impact on you because he's been out there. Big play against Chicago. Mohamed Sanu was looking for a job in this league. You talked this week glowingly about what he's done for you. They come from all over the place, sometimes veterans, sometimes young guys, but you just have to be ready.
Yeah, you have to be ready, and you really don't know when that opportunity is coming, and so you got to prepare yourself like a starter and be ready to go because, in this league, you can get as a backup player, you can get one opportunity, and you want to make sure that you're showing yourself as well as you can.
For these guys, as you take a look at Tennessee and what they bring, it starts with Derrick Henry. I mean, you've been around this game for a long time. He's pretty unique in terms of the challenges that he presents, isn't he?
He's very unique, with the size, number one. I mean, he's a big man, and then the speed to go with that size. And, once he gets rolling, I mean, he's a hard train to be able to bring down. He's got a really strong stiff arm, as we've seen and we know. So he's a physical player, but he has speed. So it's a great combination for the Titans.
How much time in season do you spend talking about tackling, and does that amount of time go up on a week like this when you see a guy like Henry coming at you?
Yeah, I think it's important to focus on the fundamentals of tackling, Dan. The crazy thing is obviously the way we practice now, there's very few days that you're in shoulder pads, or that you're even allowed to be in shoulder pads. So it's really a thing where you have to do a great job in practice with your fundamentals. And it's more, the visualization as you're running these team plays, like I got to fit this way. You need to get into football position. You need to make sure that your technique is correct, so that you're not just kind of getting in a lazy situation because we're not tackling. Because when it comes on Sunday, I mean, it's live and it's full go. And you need to be in position to make your play.
Ryan Tannehill, putting together a career year, has really done a terrific job for them. Just thoughts on what you've seen on tape and the steps that he's taken this year.
Yeah, the first thing I think that jumps out to me is, he's super courageous in the pocket. He's willing to stand in there and take a hit. He can basically throw out of a silo in there. Everything's coming around him. He can get the ball out, but he's obviously got great feet. He can make plays with his feet. He can become a runner quickly and hurt you that way. So he's got a lot of strengths to his game.
They have done a terrific job not giving the ball away, which is huge in this league. They're tied for Green Bay for number one with only 9 giveaways on the season. What has led to that ball security? What have you seen that allowed them to be so effective in that area?
Yeah, I mean, just the ball security awareness. You have to be aware. Something that we preach all the time is aware of when you have the ball and then the ways that guys are trying to get the ball off of you. And then that's kind of a focus for us this week is make sure that we have ball awareness on them. Like let's see if we can get it off. Trying to show different clips and things of how it's got off of them. The ball has come off of them before, and let's focus on those and see if we can have really dialed in awareness in terms of how to get the ball.
Hey, defensively, they have had their ups and downs, but if you look at that depth chart, they've got some playmakers over there, and you can't forget about that. They've got some guys that can really change a game quickly.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a number of guys playing. I mean, when you're watching the tape, it basically becomes numbers because the names. There's so many guys that they've had to play, but they've still been able to play at a high level. And I mean, obviously they have Malcolm Butler on the edge. I mean, really the big guy in size is Jeffrey Simmons. The big number 98. He can be a matchup issue for you. And then also is Landry, coming off the edge, number 58, does a really good job of getting pressure on the quarterback. So, but all kinds of DBs, all kinds of personnel, all kinds of linebackers been in and out of it, and they still played at a high level.
Hey, final thing. You popped one last week on a kickoff return with Jamal. Love seeing the infectious excitement that brought from the special teams. Loved hearing Braden talk about that earlier. I'm sure it's hard to do that in this league today. And I'm sure those guys are fired up to get out there and try to get another one going today.
Yeah, special teams can be really electric for your team. I mean, it brings the juice and the energy. Every game obviously starts with that play, whether it's a kickoff or kickoff return, and you have a chance to give that emotion to your team either way. You get a big return or you get a big infectious tackle down inside. You knock them inside the 20, you knock them back. It really gets your team going, sets them up, and kind of brings that juice immediately.
Coach, appreciate it. Good luck out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There he is, Lions interim head coach Darrell Bevell as they get set to go against the Titans. We are counting you down to kickoff. Stick with us. This is the Detroit Lions Radio Network.
Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford and Mitch Albom talk about today's game tomorrow afternoon at 5:35 on 760 WJR.
Project Shine and Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community.
760 WJR.
It's time for all of us to rejoin the human race. Escape the darkness and isolation. Renew yourself with Project Shine from Volunteer Match. Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community. We connect good people with great causes. Let your light shine down with Volunteer Match.
760 WJR. After the game, come back to WJR for Paul W. Smith Mornings. Frank Beckman, 9 to noon. Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3. Guy Gordon from 3 to 5. And Mitch Albom, 5 to 7. After dark, it's Mark Levin and Michael Savage. Throw in the Lions and Michigan State football and basketball. With apologies to the Detroit Tigers, this is Detroit's best lineup. News Talk 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Make sure you visit DetroitLions.com for the latest Lions news, analysis, access, and more. Lions insider Tim Twentyman, along with Lions columnist Mike O'Hara, break down every aspect of today's game and the Lions' next opponent. That's only at the official online home of your Lions, DetroitLions.com.
The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes.
Never let your light shine down.
Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR.
Want to join in on the Lions game action from the comfort of your own home? Now's your chance with Lions Bingo, presented by BetMGM. Available on the Detroit Lions app. Join in on the predictive game and be eligible to win cash prizes and future all-expenses-paid trips. For more games and Lions content, download the Lions mobile app today. Available on both iOS and Android. Go Lions!
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes through Volunteer Match. Open your eyes and open your heart now.
760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
All right,
Time now for our NFL Insider, brought to you by Merrill Edge Self-Directed. We are joined by Chris Burke, who does a great job covering the Lions for The Athletic. And Chris, good morning, good afternoon, and happy game day. How you doing?
Doing all right. Lomas still up there? Or is he starting on the line today?
No. I'm here, Chris.
He says he can swing to center if you need him to.
Chris, I might be able to give him a play or two, maybe a play or two, but that's about it.
He's probably down to center weight right about now, as opposed to left tackle, but that's where it's at. Hey, let's start there. What do you make of this offensive line? I think we've grown so used to having Frank Ragnow in the middle there. When you have a quarterback that's beat up, it's got to give you some trepidation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think anytime you lose Ragnow, it's a problem. He's been so good. We've seen that development from him happen so quickly. And, I mean, I think he's already one of the most consistent centers in football. So you swap him out, and it's going to take some adjustment. And then, you still got moving parts on the right side of the line, too. So, I mean, you do worry for Matthew Stafford. I think you also worry for the run game. And knowing how much they want to get that established early on, it's going to be a big challenge up front. I think Joe Dahl's capable, certainly, of playing at center. But, again, that's, from center out to right tackle, you kind of hold your breath.
Yeah, Chris, I just think it's so important for us to have the play-action pass as part of our offense. And, of course, you have to establish the run. Do you see us being able to establish the run? Tennessee is not that good on the defensive side of the ball. What's your thoughts about us being able to establish the run behind the offensive line that's makeshift?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the good thing is, you can run on that left side behind Decker and Jonah Jackson. And I think if you're looking at if the right side can kind of stay healthy and stay together, I mean, that's really where Vaitai does his best work. We've seen Ibushi have some good moments as a run blocker. And, Dahl's a solid player there too. So I mean, I think there should be some opportunities to run the ball. I think you also like to see him kind of use guys like Swift and Agnew and just sort of use the passing game as an extension of the run game and get it out in the flats a little bit, get it out of Matthew Stafford's hands as quickly as possible to make sure he's not sitting back there and taking unnecessary shots. So I mean, I think they still should have a chance to get something going on the ground. And like you said, they really need to. I mean, if you don't run, you can't run play action. So they got to try at least.
Chris Burke with us for our NFL Insider segment. Does a great job covering the Lions for theathletic.com. So, Chris, just give me your thoughts. Big news this week was Chris Spielman being brought into the organization. Your thoughts on that move and your thoughts on what you have seen and heard regarding the search so far, which has been centered on the general manager position.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting. I can't imagine Lions fans listened to Chris talk the other day and came away without feeling a little bit of excitement. I mean, he still sounds like he still sounds like he'd strap on the helmet and get out there today if they needed him to. So I think from that perspective, it's exciting to have him back in the fold and Barry too. And yeah, I think it's really smart to get a guy with his experience, his knowledge around the league in there to help Rod Wood and Sheila Ford-Hamp just sort of navigate all this, because this is such a huge moment for this franchise, and with the coach and GM search happening together, all the more so. And I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a few weeks. It sounds like they're taking their time, and obviously, you can't really get into the people who are in other organizations until at least after week 17, in some cases longer than that. So, I mean, I still think that we're kind of in the early stages of this, but I think it's smart that they're casting a wide net at that GM spot and talking to, people who have been through it and have that experience, and then maybe going after some up and coming names too. And so I think that that's the way to do it. Just see what's out there and make sure you're covering all your bases.
How would you weigh some of the guys that they're talking to right now? We don't know what their interest in Detroit is, to be fair, but all things being equal, guys that have track records versus guys that don't.
Well, I mean, I think that they've kind of hinted and said that they would like to maybe have some experience in one of the spots, whether it's coach or GM. And certainly it's kind of an interesting year because there are some GM candidates out there who have that experience, but also have done pretty good jobs in the past. It's not a bunch of guys who went in for 2-3 years and failed and are looking for work. It's, Thomas Dimitrov and Rick Smith and Reggie McKenzie's name hasn't really come up yet, but he's out there too. Jerry Reese. I mean, it's a lot of former GMs who have had success, not just getting to the playoffs or the Super Bowls, but sort of building things up after they've been torn down and having to make some aggressive moves here and there. So I think if they do go that direction, I don't know that you really could fault them for it, because they've obviously tried to go with an up-and-comer in Bob Quinn. That didn't work out. That doesn't scare you away from going that route, for the entirety of the franchise. But I think it is a good year if you want some more experience to go find someone who has done this before, because there are a lot of names out there with proven success at this level.
All right, let me throw keys to the game, but each of you give me one thing that you're looking for in this game that might dictate how it goes. Chris, go first.
Well, we talked about the Lions' run game. We know the Titans can run the ball. I think it's going to be big for the Lions to find something in their pass rush, because, a lot of focus on Derrick Henry. I'm sure they'll load up to try and stop him, but this is a good passing attack too. Ryan Tannehill's been playing well. They've got some dangerous weapons in that passing attack, and we know the Lions are shorthanded too on that defensive line. So whether it's through blitzes or just a couple guys have some big games up there, they've got to be able to get to the quarterback a little bit and just take something away from this Titans offense.
What do you think, Lo?
I'm looking at from our offensive side of the ball. We got to stay in third and manageables, third and threes, fours, or less, because Tennessee hadn't been good against third downs all year long. So to me, if we could stay in third and manageable positions, I think the Lions can keep themselves on the field and have some success against this Titan defense.
Chris, good stuff, my man. We appreciate it. We know you're going to be busy. You got a lot going on between this team playing games, practicing, and then on the parallel track, you got a GM and a head coach search. So we'll keep track of your stuff on The Athletic. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
There he is, Chris Burke, joining us right there. You can read his stuff on The Athletic. And like I said, there'll be a lot of content coming out because there's a lot going on with this organization right now. Step aside, come right back. Starting lineups are next. This is Lions Radio.
Project Shine and Volunteer Match.
Never let your light shine down.
Give what matters most. Your time, effort, and love as a volunteer in the community.
760 WJR.
Hey, Lions fans. Want to be at Ford Field for every home game this season? You still can. Show your Lions pride with a custom fan cutout. All proceeds benefiting Detroit Lions charities. For more information or to purchase, visit DetroitLions.com/cutouts. Go Lions!
Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Never let your light shine down.
Connecting good people with great causes is what Project Shine is all about.
760 WJR.
Project Shine makes it easy for good people to connect with great causes.
Never let your light shine down.
Visit Volunteer Match and brighten someone's day today.
760 WJR. Happy holidays from the Detroit Lions and 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Work can be anywhere these days, and nobody does anywhere like Detroit's WJR. Listen on your radio at 760 AM. Stream us at WJR.com or on your phone with the WJR app. Hear us on Alexa and Google Home smart speakers or with the TuneIn app on your radio smart speaker, your desktop, laptop, tablet, or phone. You can listen anywhere because WJR is everywhere. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. The Lions host Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Saturday at 1 on 760 WJR. It's Michigan State basketball at Northwestern tonight after the Lions on 760 WJR.
Check out RinaldiSausage.com for a local grocer near you and great recipe tips. Rinaldi Sausage, your link to good food and good times.
Lions Radio 760 WJR.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Joining us now is my friend Lomas Brown as we get ready to look at the inactive list, brought to you by Oxford Recovery Center, where healing begins. Lomas, for the Lions inactives today: Frank Ragnow, Kenny Galladay, Tyrell Crosby, Jonathan Williams, Darrell Roberts, Logan Stenberg, Kareem Martin. key there is you're looking at that offensive line.
Yes.
That's a couple of guys they've depended on heavily this year that won't be in there.
Yeah, you're right about that. And protection is going to be so important for Matthew Stafford today. To me, establishing the run against a Tennessee defense that you can have some success against, that's going to be another key. So hopefully this offensive line will be able to establish the line of scrimmage today.
Yeah, and start to look at the way they've moved guys around. How difficult is it when you got guys coming in and out of the lineup, in particular when it's the guy in the middle of your lineup?
Especially the guy in the middle, because he is your quarterback. He's the guy that touches the ball just as much or more than your quarterback, and he's responsible for getting the play started. So to me, that's going to be the key, how Joe Dahl handles things in the middle, how he's able to make his line calls to help Matthew in protection.
There was some talk that Jackson could move over to center and Dahl could move. Do you like keeping the left side of that line together?
They've been so good. They got this chemistry going. They've been playing well together. So I'm glad they left Jackson where he's at. Hopefully, Big V stepping in today, he'll be able to provide some stability on the right side.
Well, let's get to those starting lineups brought to you by Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Remember to ask, is it Wigley's? And on that offensive line, you said it, Big V back off the IR. He goes to right tackle in place of Tyrell Crosby. Ode Ibushi stays at right guard. Ragnow out, Dahl in, Jackson and Decker will be left guard, left tackle. This isn't a team that gets after the passer a lot. They're last in the league with 14 sacks. But we've seen teams get healthy against the Lions before. You got to make sure that doesn't happen today.
You're exactly right. So we're going to have to start off fast, Dan. I say starting off fast, meaning either getting a turnover, getting something positive to happen early in the game to get Tennessee off track.
For the Lions at wide receiver, no Kenny Galladay once again. Mohamed Sanu will get a lot of run out there along with Danny Amendola, Marvin Jones Jr. You also see Quintez Cephas and Jamal Agnew. Guys have to step up and make plays. This is another game where you're not only missing key offensive linemen, you're missing your best wide receiver.
And it's been like that all year long with Kenny Galladay's having the injuries he's had. So these guys should be in position because they have been going in and out. So I'm hopefully Quintez, Jamal Agnew, hopefully those guys, the guys that you don't get a lot of playing time, hopefully they can step up in a major role today.
Tight ends, TJ Hawkinson,
Yes.
Matthew Stafford will start at quarterback. Adrian Peterson, DeAndre Swift will be the main guys along with Kerryon Johnson at running back. What's it mean when you're a teammate and you see Stafford out there and you know what he's been through?
Man, I'm telling you, man, that brings so much to you. Don't want to let that guy down. That's how those guys feel right now. This guy's committing to come to play in a game that he really didn't have to play in. So as a teammate, you want to make sure you take care of Matthew Stafford, and you're going to do any and everything you can to make sure he has success.
For the Lions on defense, Nick Williams, John Penasini will be in the middle of that defensive line. You should see a good amount in there of Romeo Okwara as well on one end. Christian Jones, Reggie Ragland, Jamie Collins Sr. going to be the linebackers. Got to find some way today to get after Ryan Tannehill. I mean, he hasn't made many mistakes this year. The only way you're going to get him to make one is if you hurry him.
Yeah, but Dan, that's going to come with stopping that bad man in the backfield because they are so good off play action pass. Ryan Tannehill has been. So you got to stop the run, and that has to be number one on the list.
Derrick Henry over 1,500 yards already this year.
Yes.
He has been fantastic
Yes.
for the Lions at cornerback. No Darryl Roberts today. You'll see Amani Oruwariye, Justin Coleman, then Tracy Walker, Deron Harwood, and some Will Harris and Jaron Kearse as well. Those are the lineups today. We're ready to roll. It's going to be the Titans and the Lions coming up next. This is the Detroit Lions Radio